Welcome back to Wookies on X-Wing. My name is Matt.
I'm John.
And today we've got the first game of round 2 of our Gamezilla Fredericton Store Championships.
We have Ian versus Lawrence. You'll remember Ian from our previous Wookies on X-Wing video, and newcomer Lawrence is from a different game store entirely. So he came up for this special event, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can pull out.
Alright, so we've got Lawrence. He's got 2 Bandit Squadron pilots with homing missiles, Airen Cracken with cluster missiles and veteran instincts, and Carnor with R5P9, fire control systems, and veteran instincts. It's a very neat rebel list. I really like the look of it. You know, secondary weapon systems. Let's see what happens with it.
Yeah, I know that you're a missile junkie. I don't blame you. I am too a little bit. Ian's playing something a little bit different than he's usually playing. He's been tweaking his list, as it were. He has Howlrunner with Decoy, Carnor Jax with the Royal Guard title, Veteran Instincts, a hull upgrade and a shield upgrade, so he's very tanky. And the Whisper has a Navigator, fire control systems, advanced cloaking device, and Veteran Instincts. So I think Ian's list has been modified due to different games, tailoring a bit for due to different games where he's had encountered difficulty. The Decoy allows Howlrunner to shoot first, so if there's a rebel captive or something like that, preventing stress, so that the Phantom can cloak right after it shoots.
Yeah, the rebel captive is a really efficient way to deal with high pilot skill Phantoms.
Tanky Jax is tanky, and the Navigator just allows him to have a lot more shenanigans. So quickly, I want to talk about the asteroids. Asteroids are in a very interesting deployment. They're all over there on the other side of the board, where they want to seem to play at this side of the board edge. They're fairly clustered up, meaning that if anybody wants to take the fight to the asteroids, it can be very difficult. The Headhunters, I like how he's played them. Like, the Headhunters are their own little unit, and Cornhorn's off by himself.
Yeah, it looks like Corrin's going to try to use those asteroids to his advantage to screen his advance. The E-Wings, they have 3 defense dice. They're just as evasive as a TIE fighter. He likes hugging asteroids.
Yeah. What I like about Lawrence's list is Airen Cracken's ability is whenever he performs an attack, he basically hands out actions. Now, with his cluster missiles, he makes 2 attacks. So when he fires those cluster missiles off, his action economy, basically from Airen, doubles.
It's a really nice, not immediately obvious synergy, but when you start looking at it, it's like, oh, I like this. This is pretty strong.
And Cornhorn, I mean, pilot skill 10, Cornhorn's going to make Whisper very, very scared. On top of that, he has the droid that allows him to spend focus to recharge shields. So very tanky, a lot of attrition there if he wants to go for that route. Looks like Ian's trying to avoid him for the most part, avoid fighting those missile boats, and try to deal with Cornhorn right away.
Well, the neat thing is Cracken is also pilot skill 10, so Lawrence has the pilot skill advantage in this game, which doesn't happen a lot versus Ian. And he also has initiative, so it's going to be an interesting fight to be sure.
So, I was not expecting the fight to go right into the asteroids so quickly, but I am pleasantly surprised. It'll make this fight a lot more interesting, that's for sure.
That was some tight flying right there. Almost bumped into the back. I'm intrigued to see what Ian's going to do. It's a fairly safe assumption he's going to try to just jump Corrin.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have very much of a choice. He has to deal with Cracken or Corrin. With Cracken, once Cracken's fired those missiles off, it's less of a threat, but Corrin is at constant danger, especially with the fact that he can fire twice in a turn. As, he knows that if Lawrence knows that he's not going to get his shots next turn, he can just blow his pilot ability and then fly off to regroup and come back for another bout.
Yeah, no, it's that's the thing with Corin. You're not always going to use the ability. His big learning curve is figuring out when to use that extra shot.
So it looks like Ian's going to try to set up a crossfire here, which is a very solid tactic. It means that whoever Lawrence is going after, the other fighters can basically pick him apart. The problem is that Lawrence can go fairly slow into this, and the TIE fighter and the TIE Interceptor, we don't know where the TIE Interceptor is going quite yet, but the TIE Interceptor doesn't really have that option. They have to go too forward unless they do some hard maneuvers. So I'm very interested to see what Ian's going to do on that side, because it's really, he's kind of playing into Lawrence's hand at this point.
Yeah, we'll see. Lawrence has a very nice just missile bunker set up for, not for kind of alphaing, depends, you know, just getting the alpha strike on something. It's like, yeah, I pick you, you're going to die.
The other interesting thing is that, you know, if Ian wants to try to toast Corn right away, he wants to completely eliminate that range 3 gap. The fact that Lawrence is getting 4 defense dice against most of these shots is going to make it very difficult to Ian to land a very solid hit.
It looks like Lawrence has decided that Carnor is public enemy number 1. It's not surprising. I mean, he is the biggest threat to Lawrence's list right now, just with that completely mitigating his actions.
Yeah, that hard control that you don't see very often in X-Wing is it makes it very difficult for anybody to deal with ships. You need a high action economy, and Jax just says no. I don't like your focus. Get rid of them.
Focus and evade.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Well, especially since, you know, Lawrence, he can target lock and focus with Cracken's double whammy on these ships. He's going to want to have Jax out of the way for that.
Yeah. Oh, looks like Whisper was out of attack range, just out of attack range of Corrin.
Oh, that's brutal.
So.
Brutal.
Yeah, we got some range 3 going through the asteroid from a Headhunter at Howlrunner.
Yeah. I'd be surprised if this does anything.
Yeah, dice are dice, you know.
Dice are fickle.
They definitely can be. But it looks like they're not this game, so. Nothing of note in the opening salvos. But Corrin does have a target lock on Carnor now. So that can be a little scary. Lawrence is flying awful close to that asteroid.
Yeah, no kidding. Very interesting flying there. I mean, like, this way he gets the defense of the asteroid depending on what Howlrunner is going to do. And for the most part, depending on who he fires at, the asteroid might not be a big problem for him.
Yeah. Well, it looks like he's going to try to just force the issue with Whisper.
Yeah, T-lock on Whisper, very solid, especially with those homing missiles. I mean, Ian's not really one for using evade tokens anyway. He prefers the focus, especially with Whisper's natural ability.
Whisper's, yeah, going to be focused.
Yeah.
So she's going to be focused and cloaked, but it's still 4 dice versus 4 dice, so it's reasonable odds.
Absolutely.
The other one's getting on Carnor. Alright. I suppose give himself some diversity of options, just in case that one of them ends up out of an arc. Whisper.
So yeah, Howlrunner's in a very tricky spot right now, I think, because Cracken is probably going to fire at either Jax or Whisper. I would wager that Jax is the one getting fired at.
It's a safe bet. Yeah.
So barrel rolling in that direction is fairly interesting. I guess he wants to get that decoy in, maybe, I don't know.
Or just try to gum up, maybe mitigate where Corrin can end up.
That's true. And Howlrunner's benefit is still a thing that's in play, so you want to get within range 1 of your own ships.
Yeah, for sure. Looks like he's trying to set up Cracken for a nice wide arc of removing where Jax can end up. I guess it makes sense. I was first thinking he was just going to just one forward, but I can also see why he would do this.
Yeah.
It does kind of limit what he can do next turn in regards to maneuvers with that asteroid there, but not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah. What I like about the E-Wing here, though, is, I mean, the E-Wing can barrel roll too.
Oh, yeah.
So I would be surprised if he doesn't do that right now in order to basically limit where Whisper can go. But at the same time, that's a bit of a trick because, you know, if Ian's expecting that and he barrel rolls the other direction.
Well, Whisper's also gone already.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. I got ahead of myself.
Yeah, we're too used to Whisper being the top. But, looks like he switched his target lock to Howlrunner. So it looks like Lawrence is going to try to just burn Howlrunner this turn. Probably for the best he didn't focus because he definitely can't use it now.
Well, the interesting thing with Cracken is Cracken, if he gets a shot off on anybody, he can switch the targets.
And he's got a lock on Jax, and it looks like Jax is still in his firing arc. So, I mean, Ian is getting 4 defense dice versus each of these missiles. But whether or not he hits is, you know, largely a moot point at this right now.
Yeah. So Cracken's firing his cluster missiles, which means not only is he getting some shots off on Jax, whether or not he hits, he's giving actions to his buddies.
So setting up those Headhunters, they are just going to burn into something with those homing missiles.
Yeah, they're both primed.
Yeah. And Corrin let loose into Howlrunner there. It looks like he hit Jax a couple times though. Yeah, looks like he did 2 points of damage to him. So you know what? Not bad.
Very solid, especially since he had a shield upgrade as well. So
I think is that Howlrunner over there? No, that's Howlrunner that has the damage.
Oh, from the initial shots.
Yeah. Scary.
Yeah, Ian doesn't have a lot of hull points in his list, so coming into this point here, where he's already gotten a lot of, you know, damage out and doesn't have very much to show for it, it's not a very solid spot. I mean, the 4 attack dice coming from Whisper, if he gets to get those shots in, will help a bit, but I don't think Lawrence is overly worried about Whisper, which is very interesting considering that most people, you know, that's one of the main targets that they're gunning for.
Well, did just shoot Corrin at Whisper there though, so just trying to get her while she's decloaked. Looks like he stripped the shields off.
Yeah, and he has a fire control system, so now the target lock's over there.
Yeah.
It's a lot of attack dice this turn.
Yeah, it really is. So here's Whisper shooting back.
I'm not used to seeing so much front-loaded damage coming from a rebel list like this.
It's impressive. I like it. But so hopefully, well, looks like Whisper didn't. They just mixed up the ranges. Okay. All right. Well, Corrin takes some damage, but comes out of that pretty well.
Yeah, very solid roll, the defense roll there.
And just Whisper disappearing again. Can't say to blame him for that.
And he did get a hit in, so he gets a focus.
Yep. So he's got some nice defensive tech for the inevitable homing missile barrage. But we'll see. He's also got no shields on the Phantom though, so he's down into dangerous territory now.
Yeah, and those homing missiles are really nasty because you don't spend your target lock when you fire them. So, I mean, those homing missiles, he's throwing 4 attack dice with rerolls, with focus, That's and no bonus defense dice for range 3. No no evade tokens if you have them. It's very scary.
Yeah. I mean, if he shoots Carnor right now, Carnor's going to be benefiting from the asteroid. But Whisper, that's it. 4 versus 4. So we'll see what comes of that. Here it is. Spend the target lock. Spend the focus.
Yeah, because Carnor's not close enough.
No.
To negate that focus.
There we go. Looks like 4 damage. That's at least 1 going through. There's 1 blank in there. Now he has to decide whether to spend the... I guess it's not really a decision to spend the focus.
No, not really. I mean...
Spend it and live, or don't and die. I guess he didn't roll. Alright. Hitting a crit. Oh, that's the end of Whisper. A little surprised. I thought he rolled at least 3 potential results. Oh, he had a point of damage on him already. Okay. Rough.
And now Carnor can get some shots back with his. Well, he's already gotten his shots back, but now that Corn Horn, I should say, can potentially blast him some more.
That's 3 blanks. That's a dead fighter. Oh no, that's just Carnor hit.
Yeah, well, yeah, Carnor has an extra hull point and an extra shield. This is a cluster of nonsense.
Oh, there's Corrin going in for the kill. It looks like he missed. All right. So there was Corrin's pilot ability.
I don't. Yeah, there's no reason for him not to use that ability right now. He's not going to be able to get a good shot on next turn anyway. Now he could just disengage and get into a better position later on. I'm interested to see if he's going to jam with the Headhunters.
Looks like.
I mean, I think one of the Headhunters still has rockets.
He fired both. Pretty sure he fired both. We'll find out. Oh, this is that one's gonna be
going to Bump City.
Going to Bump City, whether or not he backtracks onto an asteroid. I think that's one of the worst feelings. You bumped and end up having to backtrack onto an asteroid.
I think he actually manages to not do it. It looks safe from here.
Yep, that's it. He's got it. Some fancy flying. Howlrunner. Oh, slotting in right behind a Headhunter.
Very solid.
Good. That was close. It was good flying. So she is stressed, but yeah, she's likely. Oh, she will survive this round at least, or at least she'll be able to get her shots.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, like when you get into the, not saying that this is the end game by any means, but when you get into the cluster, the initial cluster where everybody's just sort of jamming together, knowing where you want to go is extremely important. Being able to finagle your way into that position is equally important.
I'll say one thing though. I think I've been playing Scum a little too much because whenever I see a 3 bank, I instantly think, "Oh, he's doing a signature loop." Yeah. No, you can't do that.
Yeah, signature loops are awesome. I wish everybody could do them. No, I don't.
No.
I retract that statement.
But looks like, yeah, Lawrence may have one of his bandits with an arc on a Howlrunner, but it's going to be a close one either way.
Yeah, and here's Jax just going in and bumping more.
Hi guys.
Losing actions on Jax sucks.
Oh, he tried to K-turn too.
Oh no. That's rough. So, I mean, he wasn't going to get an action anyway.
But he got a stress for nothing. That looks like it's a bit of damage.
Yeah, we got some of Ian's signature rolling there.
Oh, he took a bandit to 1. And yeah, Howlrunner, safe bet she's going after the 1. Yep, that's it. That's a bandit gone.
It looks like a direct hit, too.
Maybe. So they're 1-1 now, but I still think Lawrence is ahead in that trade.
Yeah, this Headhunter over here is going to get a shot, too.
Oh, that's good. And Howlrunner only has the 1 health left. And that's her. She's gone.
Yep. That was not a good peace trade for Ian.
No.
A Headhunter for a TIE Fighter, especially one with Howlrunner, that was a really good peace trade.
Yeah, you can expect, playing Howlrunner, you can expect her to die. Because she's really good. So people are going to want to kill her, but that's still not a nice...
Well, she's fragile enough that people can focus her down first. Like, when especially if you have like a secondary weapon system, and you're like, oh, look at all these TIE Fighters. Look at that, that's Howlrunner. Okay, I'll fire at Howlrunner.
Yeah.
You know, you don't really make the choice difficult for your opponent. But with Ian's list, you kind of do make that choice difficult because Jax is probably one of the scariest fighters if you're a small ship list, or a Phantom if you're a big ship list.
Yeah.
Dealing with both of those should be your priority. Howlrunner is a nice synergy, but she's not the scariest thing in there. And that synergy goes away when she can't hand off those rerolls to anybody.
Yeah, for sure.
And it looks like Jax is just trying to get himself turned around.
Keeping the asteroid between him and Corrin.
Yeah, well, he gets a boost.
So, yeah, interceptors can be slippery to try to lock in.
Yeah. The problem with that E-wing though is with barrel roll being a thing.
Yeah, you've got some nice. Looks like he did clear the arc. Very close. Jack's gunning for Cracken now. Oh, he rolled focuses, no hits. That's a shame.
Yeah, he didn't want to use his Cornhorn's ability this turn, but he did get a free target lock because of fire control system, so... This is marker lighting him.
And you... So let's see what... That bandit's in a nice spot to try to come around and just... set up for a nice attack run on Jax later in the game.
Yeah, Lawrence is in a good place to kill box Jax like one or two turns from now.
Yeah, I figured that's what Cracken was going to do. Makes sense for indication.
Well, I mean, even Cracken doesn't really gonna do very much to Jax. 2 attack dice, range 3 versus, well, potentially range 3. We don't know yet, but yeah, that'll probably be range 2. So 2 attack dice versus 3 defense dice. It's not gonna do that much, but Cracken does get to hand off actions, which is a huge deal.
Yeah. And he does still have a target lock on him, so it's a nice, nice insurance. One potential. So again, that whether or not he gets damage through is kind of moot at this point.
Yeah, and now he's telling Corrin to barrel roll, and if he can barrel roll right into the perfect spot, Corrin will get his shots because they're the same pilot skill.
They are. Nope.
No, he can't get there.
Quite.
But that means he can barrel roll in the opposite direction if he really wants.
Jax is just a little too far away.
Getting the distance and allowing him to set up for next turn.
Get out of range 1. Not a good place to be against an interceptor.
Yeah.
That's close.
Corn's relatively unscathed too.
Yeah, Jax is gunning for Cracken. He gets a point through, takes a shield off. Yeah, Lawrence has come through this game really well.
Well, the good thing about getting out of range 1 from Jax is that he has access to his focus. So he can spend that focus to... Yeah, see? There you go. He can spend that focus to get a shield back, which is going to do right now. Or you can spend the focus to just defend.
Yeah. Good spot to be. Oh, Bandit's going a little faster than I would have expected, but...
Well, the Interceptor doesn't have a lot of options right now.
No, that's true. Just to decide which... Ian has to decide which ship he's going to go after to try to kill.
The scariest thing to Ian right now is the E-Wing. The E-Wing has enough attack dice to just blow Jax out of the water on a really good solid turn. The problem is that those other fighters, they can block Jax. They can just be a hassle, and Cracken can give. It basically creates a high action economy for Lawrence's squadron. So it's very difficult to make that decision, as you lightly put.
And Jax only has 1 health left, so if he gets unlucky, if he even takes a small hit from one of the Headhunters, he's going.
Yeah, a glancing blow from one of the Headhunters will do him in. And 3 defense dice is nice, but you can only be so lucky.
Oh, looks like he's trying to get out of dodge, come around, set up a run for later in the turn.
Yeah. Very tricky. I mean, you have to try when you have 3 against 1 like this. You have to play on your own terms, and with a TIE Interceptor, you can really do that. You can really push the envelope, but you got to be careful not to get yourself boxed in.
Don't get cocky, kid.
Yeah. What's really cool, as you're seeing here, is that the Headhunters, unlike the X-Wings, have 3K turns rather than 4K turns.
It's a nice change. They don't have to put themselves quite so far out of position to get turned around. They still have a reasonable number of green maneuvers if he wants to remove that stress.
Yeah, the Headhunter dial is fairly solid. It's not necessarily the worst dial. It's not a Y-Wing by any means.
No. That is a pretty bad dial.
Yeah, I mean for Rebels, from a Rebel perspective, it's not the greatest. I mean, though Rebel Y-Wings have access to the R2 astromech for 1 point, which makes their dial a lot better. Headhunters don't have astromech upgrades, which kind of limits them a bit, but they do have missiles.
And we've seen missiles played intelligently can be very dangerous.
I personally like missiles more than torpedoes. I mean, they do different things, obviously, but when it comes to damage potential, I feel that torpedoes you get your money's worth. For missiles you get your money's worth far more often than torpedoes. That is changing with a lot of the newer torpedoes, obviously. But the Y-Wing, I mean, having 2 torpedo slots, it's nice, but you'll almost never use those torpedo slots.
They're expensive. That's the thing with torpedoes; they're fairly expensive.
Yeah, I mean, flechette torpedoes are pretty cool.
Yeah,
but you're not going to be taking multiple sets of flechette torpedoes. You're going to be taking like.
It is an intriguing idea.
Yeah, I mean, you could just take a munitions failsafe and hope to miss.
Yeah. I want to miss you. Why? Because I can keep doing this all day long.
Pretty much.
So, alright, yeah, it looks like Jax is going to be dueling with some long-range dueling with the Bandit there. Just out of range of Cracken.
Well, this is what Ian wants. Ian wants to fight 1 fighter at a time. He wants to fight him piecemeal and take him out. If he gets a lucky hit, he might be able to take one of these Headhunters out. and move on to the next one. And if he can eliminate both of the Headhunters before the E-Wing gets into the fray, the game is will be a lot more even.
Yeah, he's looking a lot better. Though he almost died right there.
Yeah. Oh,
very close.
well, those kittens can bite. They might not bite hard, but they can bite.
Yeah, Cracken's... Our Cornhorn's really starting to... He's gonna end up behind Jax unless he's careful.
Ian's been fairly good at predicting where Lawrence is going to go. If he can just keep that up, he'll be fairly solid. Lawrence is obviously going for the more I want vantage rather than firepower.
Yeah, because he, like we said, he just has to get 1 point through onto Jax, and then that's it. Horn's sitting in a good spot. He's had a target lock from previous turns, so he can just focus up, wait for Jax.
Well, that's the thing with the E-Wings. A lot of people overlook them because they suffer from the same problem that X-Wings have, which is they're more of a jack of all trades than a specialist, and they're very expensive for what they do. But they have a lot more options than most things. Like the B-Wing, they have a system upgrade, so you can take advanced sensors or fire control systems. But you have to really play into how you're going to build your squadron with that.
Yeah, you really can't just throw an E-Wing in there.
No.
You do have some really good E-Wing pilots, though.
Yeah, a bot, not a bot. Yeah, a bot. And Cornhorn, both are really solid.
Yeah, bot's value really went up with Scum coming out.
Yeah, Mangler cannons
On 10 num.
on 10 num makes a bot just help crit all the time.
It's impressive. Oh, you got Cracken. I suppose Jax hasn't moved yet, but behind him again.
Yeah. What I really like is fire control systems on anything that can take a system upgrade, just because it gives you more options on what you're going to do, and it gives you it helps your action economy.
Well, you don't have to keep target locking. You can just focus, or the E-Wing's case, barrel roll.
I mean, fire control system's great. Don't get me wrong. And with Core and Horn, it's just perfect.
Yeah, Corn, it's definitely what Corn needs.
Yeah, I would. Anything that can take gunner fire control systems immediately makes his money back. Anything that you get the multiple shots fire control systems makes his money back. But you know, with an E-Wing, you either want to choose: do I want to get the flexibility of advanced sensors, or do I want to have fire control systems? I really don't know.
Ian's just trying to dodge a bot.
I think Ian's just going
didn't quite get it.
I think Ian's just going for time now.
Looks like he did not quite sneak out of that fire arc though. So here's 6 dice. Well, in Lawrence's case, guarantees 6 dice coming at him.
Yeah.
But he didn't need it.
That's the game.
Well, guys, thanks for watching. We've got more Store Championship coverage coming up. So as usual, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like it and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out.
You can also find us at northerngamingnetwork.com or on Facebook at Northern Gaming Network or Twitter at NorthGameNet.
Have a good one, guys.